You know that feeling, right? You walk out of a debate round, you're absolutely convinced you crushed it, only to see the loss on the ballot later. So what if the problem wasn't your arguments at all? What if it was something deeper, your strategy?
Sometimes you lose. And it's not because your arguments were bad or your evidence was weak, but because your strategy is. And mastering that, well, that's the secret sauce that separates the good debaters from the ones who always seem to win. So, let's get into it. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden traps that can absolutely sabotage even the most well-researched cases. This isn't about finding more facts, it's about being way, way smarter with the ones you already have.
We're breaking down the 5 most common and most costly strategic mistakes that trip debaters up. You ready? Let's dive in.
First up, we have a classic trap, and it's a little counterintuitive. It's called argument overload. You know the temptation, right? Just throw everything you have, the whole kitchen sink, at the judge and hope something sticks. But that almost always backfires.
Look, when you drop 10 different points, you're not proving you're smart. You're just giving the judge homework. Now they have to sift through it all and decide what's important. It is so much more powerful to land 2 or 3 killer arguments that you explain really, really well. Those are the ones that'll stick. Always remember, focus beats overload, every single time.
All right, so you've narrowed down your arguments, you're focused, but you can still totally lose if you're aiming at the wrong target. And that brings us to our second trap, ignoring the core. See, every single debate, no matter the topic, boils down to one central conflict. It's the heart of the matter. It's where the whole thing is either won or lost.
We call this the main clash, and your #1 job is to find it and then to dominate it. Think about it. If your opponent is making this huge case that the economy is the only thing that matters, and you're over here talking about something completely different, well, you're pretty much just handing them the win on a silver platter.
And trust me, judges notice. They're listening for you to engage on that key issue. Ignoring that main clash is like showing up to a fight and just letting the other person hit you. You've got to go where the real battle is happening.
Okay, so you found the main clash. You're in the right battle. Awesome. But now you have to prove that you're winning it. And this is where so many debaters fall into trap number 3, weak comparisons.
Listen, it is not enough to just say, my argument is good. You have to explicitly tell the judge why your argument is better, why it matters more than what the other team is saying. We call this weighing. Does your argument affect more people? Is the impact more severe? Is it more likely to happen? If you don't make that direct comparison for the judge, you're just leaving it to chance, and that is a bad bet.
All right, trap number 4. This one is tough, especially for all the perfectionists out there. It's the trap of defending everything. Not all your arguments are created equal. If your opponent lands a solid hit on one of your minor points, let it go. Seriously, don't waste precious time and credibility trying to save it. A smart debater knows which hill is worth dying on. You let go of the small stuff so you can pour all your energy into the arguments that will actually win you the debate. Now, knowing what to defend and what to drop requires you to think on your feet. And if you can't do that, you fall right into our 5th and final trap, the static plan. A debate isn't a monologue you've memorized. It's a dynamic, live conversation.
If your opponent makes an argument you didn't expect, or the whole debate takes a sharp turn, you absolutely must adapt. Sticking rigidly to your pre-written speech when the round has clearly moved on is a recipe for disaster. The best strategists are flexible. They adapt.
Okay, we have covered the 5 big traps. Now let's see if you were paying attention. It's time to put your strategic instincts to the test. So picture this. A team is getting absolutely hammered on their opponent's biggest, most powerful argument. But instead of dealing with it, they just keep repeating their own small, minor points. What are they doing wrong? Yep, they're falling headfirst into trap number 2, ignoring the core. And it almost never, ever works. So here's a little mini challenge for you. Look at these 2 mistakes. On one side, you've got argument overload. On the other, you've got completely ignoring one major issue. So, which one is worse and why? I would argue that ignoring the major issue is fatal because you're essentially conceding the most important ground in the entire debate.
All right, quiz time. First question, why is having too many arguments a problem? Is it A, it creates confusion, B, it sounds smarter, or C, it adds evidence?
The answer is A, it creates confusion. Remember, clarity and focus are always so much more powerful than just sheer volume.
Question 2. Why must you address the main clashes? Is it A, because judges care about key issues? B, it saves time, or C, it changes the topic. And that's right, it's ACE again. Judges are trained to look for who is winning on the most critical points of disagreement. That's where the debate is decided.
So there you have it, the 5 traps: argument overload, ignoring the core, weak comparisons, defending everything, and having a static plan. Just knowing what not to do is a huge step. But honestly, it's just the beginning.
Because avoiding these mistakes is one thing, but building a truly dominant, proactive, and winning strategy, that's the next level.
So, the real question is, are you ready to go beyond just avoiding traps and start building a complete framework for strategic success, right from the ground up?
Because in our next explainer, that is exactly what we're going to do. We're breaking down the full advanced strategy system. You are not going to want to miss it. We'll see you then.